to raise up the children and the humanity about justice and fair and freedom. And these rights are one of the Israel's attacks against the Palestinians. We are not allowed to live freely because of the occupation. And it's not just it's a problem in Palestine. It's also a cry for all the human being who can be silent of this such violence and apartheid occupation, because it can be happened in every single country. I was just speaking with a friend in Nimsa, and she was telling me about the violence. Vienna, sorry, and she was telling me about the violence that they are facing from the government and the Jewish there. So for us to raise your voice up and to speak up in any way, in all ways you can, in all such of types and skills and languages, this is a very, very important resistance. Of course, there's a resistant in Gaza. There's two kinds of resistant: physically resistant, just for you to be in this land, for you to be standing and living in Palestine, Holy Land. And the other resistant is muqawama, is the firing, is the rockets we have. It is handmade rockets. It doesn't we cannot compare it to the Israeli weapon, which is illegal and immoral. It's massive weapon they are using to kill children and to damage the sewage and to damage all kind of lives in Gaza. They are using chemicals and types that it's illegal. Of course, the weapon itself, it's illegal. They're doing, but the material they are using every single time, every single war, it's illegal. So you cannot imagine how come in this very tiny area in the world, with the biggest and the largest people in the world, 2 million in 360 kilometers, succeeded in making such of resistant like rockets under the ground, under Gaza, and also with the tunnels they have, against the most strong military in the world, the fourth strong military in the world. This is something that make us believe in this, in our issue. I don't like to say it's a Palestinian issue. It's all humanity issue, because Aqsa Mosque, it's not for me, it's for all Muslims. The churches we have, Bethlehem, it's for all Christians in the world. So if we understand the meaning of the dangers that Israeli is trying to exist herself and to recognize herself in the Middle East, between the Arab countries, we can understand then how is the world going on with more violence and more attacks and more racist against the Palestinian, because against the Muslims, because it's something that they labeled the Muslims in. They labeled us. They put us in a label that makes us different than the others, you know. And this is a very dangerous type of apartheid and violence. I am very happy as a Palestinian to see such of big solidarity in the social media. This time, it really made a difference in the international community. In the international community, as every time, with no sense, with no movement, with no action, one action on the ground against this apartheid occupation. Every single time when they speak up, they speak about, even I'm talking about international and a human organization as UNRWA. The UNRWA is the name of the Palestinian refugee. The manager of the UNRWA operations said that Hamas and Palestinians has no rights to defend, and Israel has right to defend. Inshallah, we will fire him from Gaza, and he won't be able to come again. And we will see what we can do with him. This is one thing. The other thing that so because every time the international, it's like a chair. America move it and play with it. It's a play. It's a tool. It has nothing to do. Okay. And everyone in this world put from their own taxes for these international just to continue speaking and to make this lie. All right. So the one thing they said after they did this emergency meeting, they were everyone just except Chinese, I think, and Norway, but I'm not sure even. Some countries, not all of them, they were talking about and committing on the right of Israel defend. Okay, I cannot understand how an occupation, apartheid, ethnic cleansing apartheid occupation has a right to defend. If they are the one who's firing us, if they are the one who's killing us, if they are the one who's making all of these crimes because they are criminals on us, what the world want us to do? To be silent, not to defend, to shut down, to say, oh, okay, we are poor. We are not poor. We are very rich people. This is one thing. The other thing, this is our land, the land of Palestine. And if anyone don't know what's the land of Palestine, they can read again in the boxes, documentaries, films, and learn about this. It's very important also to be logic and to think and to be aware person. Because I don't accept from anyone to tell me why there is a conflict. It's written in Quran. My son knows why there is a conflict. He's 5 years old. So when there is such of this power, authority for Israel's in America, political politicians, states, and in the UN and the international community. So what shall we do in this stage? We were waiting from the Arab countries to do something about this, to take an action. Yes, there were a good solidarity that we can see from sending cars with health treatment and the clinics. It's important, thank you, but this is has nothing to do with the basics crisis that we are suffering from. All of Arab countries are responsible for what happened to Palestine. So why this time we fight it and we talk the resistance as a way to rely on Israel to take an action for what happened in Jerusalem, because there is nothing to do with the international community, and there is no and exist for even the Arab countries. Okay, so we deal with them as they are not here. Okay, we are not waiting from them to take any decision. We don't even call them. We used to call them in the first war, second, third war, but this war, when Palestinian in Jerusalem was fighting alone, okay, and facing all of these attacks and violence and violations, and during escalations and arresting and kicking the soldiers, soldiers kicking Palestinians. The one thing they said that, please Gazans, reply, please Gazans, yalla yalla, mishan Allah yalla, yani, which means that for goodness sakes, we are waiting for you. You are our hand. You are our power. You are the voice of us. So then resistant, the Palestinian resistant, and I'm not saying Hamas, because resistant is it's all movements in Palestine. It's not just about Hamas. Hamas is the biggest one. It's the one who has the most power, strategy, and even politicians' decisions. But it's also the other waves and groups in Gaza. So the Palestinian resistance applied and took an action. And when that happened, Israeli decided with it was a very they failed in this decision to fire on Gaza and to attack Gaza. They say that we succeeded in in damaging and targeting the resistant points and leaders and things like that. They didn't even touch the resistant, like more than, like, let's say 10%. The 90% of the targets of the Israeli military occupation was against civilians and innocent people. More than 50% of people who were victims in this war are from children and women. We have more than 200 shaheed and 65 child. Most of them are like 7 years, 7 months only, and 2 years, and most of them have gone, like all the family gone. Like there is more than five whole families are deleted from the civilians, the citizens records. So it's a massacre what Israel did in Gaza. More than 80 years of shooting and airstrikes on Gaza 24-hour, with lack of electricity, lack of water. We don't forget, of course, the siege on Gaza. Gaza is under siege now more than 14 years. So a man like you don't know yet what does the plan looks like? What does the world outside Gaza looks like? What is the sky looks like? Because they didn't taste the taste of freedom until now. They don't know if this is normal or not, because they are alone, they are away, they are not even recognized in the map. And if we give up the resistance, the world will recognize us. But what? Like as a state? No, it's not. It's a part. Gaza is a part of Palestine, and Gaza is under occupation. The military just withdraw from Gaza 2005, but they are until this moment imposing a siege on Gaza in all ways. Sea and the border with the other side, from the Palestinian side, and of course the space, because we don't have port, we don't have airport, we don't have even checkpoints or borders. There were 4 borders, now it's 2 borders. One border is for services and medicals and food, and Israel shuts it the most of the year and open it like 133 days in the whole year. And they are feeding Palestinian people, feeding them. They are not giving them rights. They are feeding them, okay, as because they say this is a collective punishment. Everyone, like children, women, all of them under collective punishment, just because they are not against the resist. Why should I be against the resist? Because of the Israel's children, because of the Israel's women who decided to come and live in my land, and who decided to be settlers, and who decided to be apartheid, and who are calling for killing Palestinians. At least I don't call for killing Israelis, okay? I call for ending this occupation, because we are not terrorists, okay? If I see a child, of course, I will treat him better than my child, okay? But the point is, the Palestinian resist is against the occupation. They are fighting and firing on the settlements. I don't care who's living there. I don't care, because your family decided to come and to kick me out of my home, and to stay in my home, and to take my things, and to kill me. So should I care if you are a child or a woman or what? If your parents really, I'm not talking about you, my dear. If their parents I really care about the humanity and freedom and justice and rights, won't teach their children, you know what, they give weapons to their children. Like the Israelis, like 5 years old, they deal with weapons. I refuse to buy a game whipping, a toy whipping to my children. And they give it a real weapon, they give it to the children. And they tell them that God say their God, okay, I don't know, is it Jewish one or the other one they created? They say, I respect all religions, of course, Jewish, Christianity, and Islam, but they have another type of religion, which is right waves, which is nothing related to the Jewish people, because Jewish are our cousins, you know that. They say to each other's settlers that if you kill Palestinians, our God, their God, will be happy from us. So do it for you. It's like a gift to give. They are calling now for more violence to attack people in their homes. They burned Palestinian children 2 weeks ago, and they are calling for more attacks on people. They know if there is any home, Palestinian home without men, like only girls in it, they attack it, and they ايش يعني اعتداء اغتصاب yeah, against women. And you know, they are practicing all kind of apartheid, and there is an apartheid wall, you know that, a wall in Gaza, in Palestine, West Bank. And also there is a checkpoints, so many checkpoints in Palestinian territory, even the lands which under the Palestine control. The Palestinian Authority, Mahmoud Abbas, the San Ghafara president, he's not our president, he's a president of Peace Labor. I don't know where is him now. He's still sleeping and calling for more negotiation with occupation, okay? And they are not respecting him even. They are not respecting this negotiation for more than 20, 30 years, okay? Has nothing to do. So when we went back to the resistant way, when we choose to stand with resistant, then the words say that it's not our right. And the international agreements in law committed that accorded that the rights of defend, it's the rights of Palestinian resistant, it's right of Palestinian, it's the right of self-defense. So we are using this right, and the law who wrote this are not recognizing it. Themselves who wrote this are not recognizing. They mean self-defend in what kind? I don't understand. How can we self-defend in front of apartheid, ethnic cleansing? How can we ethnic cleansing? How can we defend? So the world is standing with the Israelis, but people are not standing with the occupation. People, normal people, a human being, are not standing with occupation. So this gave us actually as Palestinian hope to work more, to fight more, to raise up our voices, to speak. And when there were like social media solidarity movements on social media, we were very, very, very happy, because it was one of the most important steps to aware people around the world what's going on in Gaza and Palestine, in whole Palestine, and to make them understand the suffering we are living every single day. Okay, and it's not just in Palestine. In everywhere, if you are Palestine, in everywhere in Europe and America, you're not welcome. That's it.
Do you think the diaspora community or the ones who's living abroad is now leading this struggle for the Palestinians by making the people aware?
Yeah, of course, they're living this struggle. Yeah, of course. Because it's very hard for Palestinian to have a leader. Like there is, okay, there is ambassadors in all in most of the countries, but also there's countries who's not recognizing Palestine as a state, not recognizing Palestinians' people rights. And all of that, in spite of all of that, they are recognizing the occupation and building settlements. You know, just Ireland yesterday, they witnessed, they recognized Israel as a settler state. So that means there will no more support to the like produce it to the products of Israeli, because that means that they are supporting the settlements.
When a calamity or when an airstrike comes to you, how do you find comfort? How do you move on from such an airstrike? Because if you tell your child tomorrow, inshallah, will be a good day, the child and even you know that it is not going to be a good day for you. So how will you overcome? How do you get the strength to overcome such?
Every time it's a good day. Every time we're living, every day is a good day, because it's a fight. It's a resist. My daughter, she witnessed, and I witnessed the 3 wars in Gaza. I was in Gaza that time. I just came from Gaza 2 months ago. My daughter was with me, and I still remember when she takes a corner. She was 2 years old. In the second war, she was 2 years old or 4 years old. She used to take a corner, and she used to ask, why is this bombing, and why is there's no electricity now? You know, there is only electricity 4 hours in Gaza, 4 hours from 24 hours, only 4 hours or 3 hours, even 3 hours. Okay. So life is freezed there. Gaza as a place, it's the humanity organizations, UN say that it's not being able for the, it doesn't, it's not for the humanity living Gaza as a place. Because there is problem, a crisis, humanitarian crisis, and 95 of unclean water, and lack of electricity, and of course the siege. So the way we raise up our children, no one tells us the story. We see it by our eyes. Like when I was born, the day I was born, they arrested my father. He was jailed in the Israelis prison. I raised up in a camp, in the Palestinian camp, one of the biggest camps in Gaza Strip, called Ashabura. So then I recognized that I'm a refugee. I'm not normal. I'm not like others. I don't live in a city. I don't live I don't go to governmental schools. I go to UN schools. Why is that? Why we are wearing like zebra? Why we have the UN cars? Why every month they bring us oil and sugar and flour? And my mom, she's a teacher, and my dad is a professor, and now my mom, she's the head of the educational area in Gaza, and she's a doctor too. We are very educated, not me, all Palestinian. Every single home in Palestine is something very easy to have. Not because it's easy, it takes 4 years at least, but because this is the only weapon for us to be educated, to be cultured, to be open, because this is how we can send our message and how we can fight, because we don't have a normal situation, and also we don't have suitable and safety future for the Palestinians as a state. Like as I told you, there is a mess from the authority, the Palestinians authority. So we don't have leadership, you know. Hamas was leading for too many years, but politically there were like too much differences and struggles, even because in the region, religious people are not welcomed mostly. Despite that the Arabs already living in a traditional way, yani. So when a religious government comes, that means so much lacking on things. But Palestinians are different. Palestinians are not like any other country. because we used to be in the intifada and in the war, women beside the man, women with men fighting together. So we are open to the life, but it's religious country, of course. And also we have Christians in our country. They are living freely, and um, and they are suffering as we do. So because also Israel don't allow them to go to the churches in the Beit Lehem and to celebrate. So it's the same. Like we all of us, there is no differences between religions, between colors, between social states or whatever. If you're a Palestinian, so all all violence is in front of you. Um, what's your next question? Because I'm very sorry, I have to leave. I have a life in TRT, my channel, and I have too much work to do. But I really appreciate your coming and you joining here and you listening to my talk. I really appreciate, and I want to thank every single one of you sitting here and care about the Palestinian issue and giving time to listen to me. Thank you so much.
Thank you for being tirelessly working in the front line for the Palestinian cause. I think we don't take your time much, and I think we can conclude with the vote of thanks from Hafsa Khalid, inshallah.
If someone have any question, we can I can answer before I leave.
Okay,
Okay,
okay.
sir.
Okay.
Mumtaz,
I'll do it.
okay. Yeah, I see you. Yeah.
We have this recorded, this today's webinar, so that
It is
we can
recorded.
Yeah,
among how can we get it?
it is recorded. You can find it on our social media platforms. Students Fraternity Qatar. We are on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
I'll just on the chat box for 5 minutes. Let's see if anyone has questions. You can put down your questions on the chat box, please.
Okay. The last thing I want to say that during my to be under attack and war on Gaza, like when you ask what's your on a war, they will say to you that we were born and we witnessed the war. So all our life it was like wars from the Israelis. We didn't enjoy one day without a conflict, without like actions. We have drama more than you in India. Like we always have an action movies every day, like, and it's real. Okay, it's not Hollywood, you know. But when you understand the physically belief and faith of Palestinian in their land, then you will understand how we can be this strong and how we take our strength. Um, it's not just because we belong to this land, because they took this right from us. They stole our land. They stole our memories, our history, and our identity. And they are trying to lie. They are lying actually of taking falafel. You know, falafel, it's Palestinian traditional thing, and all of our stuff, and belonging these food and the culture to them, because they don't have a culture. They came from there. They were collective from the world, and they then the Britain military brought them in Palestine, because Palestine is wonderful. It's beautiful country. It has the most holy areas in the world and mosques. Um, as I tell you, we are facing apartheid occupation with every day. The people who just died are not numbers, they are stories, they are names and years and dreams. Each one who were shaheed in the war is a special story. And when my daughter used to call me during the war, and I ask her, "Are you afraid?" She tells me, "Of course I'm afraid. I am afraid, but I will not go anywhere. If I die, I die here on my land, in my home." They should be afraid, and they are afraid, so they are attacking us. You know, they were running from our handmade rockets. They were running in the under the ground in Gaza, like 2 million people. They don't have one safety place. They don't have anywhere. We used to go under the steps, the stairs in homes, and we are very extended family. In each home is like a 20 person. Mashallah, there's very much children. So this the faith and the belief of your country and your rights is the reason why is the reason of the power we have. But of course, we are a human being. We are tired now. We are it's enough, and we don't want war. And we feel afraid, and the rockets and the bombings, it's massive. It's not normal. It's all the home shakes. There were rockets above people with no even telling people to go outside. It's like suddenly on people heads. It doesn't Israel doesn't fire like each home in one rocket only. It fires them with too much, like that. And in the 1 minute, like in 1 second, more than 200, more than 300 in 1 second. So how you can imagine the huge damage and the huge sound we used to live in. Until this moment, children need help. Children need treatment, physically treatment, because they were very afraid, and they were living under massacre. Actually, Israel's used to kill the whole family, citizens, all innocents, all innocents. They say that Hamas fire between houses, have their own places. They used to say that Hamas protect themselves. Hamas doesn't need anyone to protect them. They are very strong people. You can't imagine how they are strong they are, because they believe in their issue. They believe in their, and everyone, of course, but they have the way to resist. We have our ways. I'm a journalist. My way. My brother is a teacher. My brother is a doctor. Everyone has his own way to resist, But if you just talk to our children with the messages and the way of thinking, you will be amazed. You will be amazed. They teach the leaders in the world how to be a human being and how to be strong. I'm proud of them.
Yeah, you said India it's not a drama in movies, but in India also there is Hindutva fascism, which is now becoming.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, of course.
And wallahi, this Palestinian resistance is a big inspiration to all of us, and how we should resist this fascist in the country.
The same situations Muslims living in India, in Pakistan, in Afghanistan, in Myanmar, Hungary, like all same. Okay, but we are talking about occupation. And I know sometimes it seems like occupation for these violence against Muslims. It is. I see it is, because they are not attacking Muslims just because they are Muslims. No, they want to delete the Islam. They want to remove it. Okay, I don't know what's the big matter with our religion. They hate it this much, but in the end, we are free people. Okay. I can't understand how the calling of democracy, and you are not giving me the right to describe, to talk, to live. And I'm not making you know, and it's my freedom. I don't attack you, okay? It's my part only. Um, but Alhamdulillah, in Gaza there is like 80%, more than 80% of Muslims, and but in West Bank there is much more Christians. But for me, I live with them, neighbors and brothers and sisters. They are my friends. They are Palestinian like me.
Yeah.
Never was Islam and other religions different. The different is when you are not a human being, when you are against the humanity. This is our problem. Nothing else. My problem. My problem is the races and apartheid and settlements. This is my problem. I am a refugee. I was my parents, my grandparents were fired to Gaza, and they took my land. So until we take our land, we can see what will happen.
Okay, we have some questions if you can answer just in 5 minutes.
Okay.
One question is, what do you see, how do you see the coming up election mediated by Turkey? Turkey, yeah?
What's Turkey?
No. You have elections coming up, yeah?
Where? In Palestine?
Yeah.
Yeah, our president, he decided one day after he called for elections to stop elections because he wants election also in Jerusalem. We do, of course, but Jerusalem, it's out of the authority land. It's under the international control. So elections is very important because it gives the Palestinians the power to be unity, the power of being one word, one power against the occupation, and for people, because people are fed up. This is shame on the Palestinian politicians to be until this moment divided and not unity. And to make our narrative stronger and to raise it up and to face it with the Israeli narrative, we must be in unity. You know, it's very important, and we call for it. But our president, he's I don't know what's going on, but he's under the Americans green light. I wished he this time is serious about it and he gives a hand for it. I wish in the end he's our president, you know, we like him.
Okay, do you think this resistance, all these issues will end soon? And how do you see the future of Palestine with the current escalation of how the things have been? And do you see hope in the near future?
Yeah, there is always hope. Of course, we live with hope. Of course, we live with the hope of ending this occupation, apartheid occupation, and we live with hope of unity, hope of return to our country, our lands. They were always, because we are fighting. We are fighting, of course, because we have hope. If we don't have hope, then we will be sitting and doing nothing. But every day there is a struggle. Every day there is a hope, and we are not giving up.
Yeah, there's a question which says social media is with the trend. Right now, Palestine is the trend. So we are all with Palestine. Once this trend, falls, when the trend changes, do you think that Palestine will benefit from such trends, or do you think that this social media trend activism will help in any ways for Palestine?
Palestine issue, it's not a trend. Palestine issue, it's every day. It's every in every such situations and actions, like not because the social media decided to put a spotlight on the struggles of Palestinians and attacks, that means that I will care about Palestine. But once it's not on a spot, then I will not talk about it. I will see what's the other trend to talk about it. If I talk about it and you talk about it, then it will be every time it trends. If we consider this Palestinian issue as issues of our basic daily life, then it will never go down. We decide, okay, and also we decided to unfollow people who did not, who said like bad things and who were affecting badly on the Palestine issue. But also the people can decide where is if they want to continue and to stay defending and fighting. Like, you can only choose one picture for Palestine every day in your story, 10 photos for your life, your day, your ideas, and one photo for Palestine. Okay, we should do that.
Definitely, inshallah, we'll all try to do that, and we are all here supporting Palestine with our hearts. Our hearts are always with Palestine. We are
Very thankful.
very heavy heart for Palestine. Inshallah, we'll soon see victory, and we really appreciate your work, Isra, for tirelessly working for the Palestinian cause. I've been following you throughout these days, and I've seen how many lives you have been doing. And wallahi, may Allah reward you with all those efforts you put for the Palestinian people, and may He make you among those who is fighting in Palestine, inshallah.
You can book my Instagram account for people who want to follow up, because I share sometimes stories in English to
Yes,
be sure
inshallah.
that others understand what's going on the stories. And there's so many pages in English, you can understand what's going on more, to follow up the news and the stories, because we are stories. We are not just numbers and habits. Like, thank you for
Yes.
having me. And inshallah, we'll see you soon. Inshallah.
Inshallah. I think we can move on to the vote of thanks from Hafsa Khalid and conclude. Inshallah.
Okay, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. I am Hafsa Khalid, a Vice President of Student Fraternity Qatar, and I deem it a great honor and privilege to propose the vote of thanks for this blessed and memorable event. So let me begin first by giving glory to Almighty God for making today's occasion a success, alhamdulillah. First and foremost, I would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to our special guest, Ms. Isra, the first spokeswoman of the Palestinian government and currently presenter at TRT Arabic Digital, for finding time to grace us with her presence and providing us with valuable information and her personal struggles. I would also like to thank the Students Fraternity Qatar President, Mohammed Sahal, for speaking with us and relentlessly working behind this. And I send my sincere thanks to the President of Student Fraternity Qatar, who spoke with us earlier, and for welcoming us to the event. And I'm also grateful to Abdurrahman bin Nasser, who graced us with his beautiful recitation. I also owe special gratitude to Naureen, Junior Secretary for Students Fraternity, for leading us through the event today successfully. And last but not least, I'd like to thank every one of you who worked behind this, and each of you for being a part of it and making it successful. Finally, I'd like to leave you with a reminder that victory is not far. As Ms. Isra Al Modallal said, if we hold on with the same spirit, I'm certain that we will see a free Palestine soon, very soon, inshallah.
Inshallah. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you. Jazakallah khair to every participant that have attended today's session. Keep in touch with us on our social media platforms for further events and updates.
Are you all living in India?
No.
No, we are all in Qatar.
Most of us are from Qatar, yeah.
Yeah, we have also an audience from India, but most of us are from Qatar.
Qatar.
Yeah.
Yes.
Ah, okay. All right. Nice.
And thank you for joining, everyone. Jazakumullah khair. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.